Hello, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, very much for joining me this week. This week, I'm just making a quick pre-recorded video. Today, I just have a quick conversation I was having with one of my children, and I figured I'd just step on the mic, voice my opinion, ask you guys to please do the same. Please drop your comments in the box. Thank you guys very much for doing that. Thank you for watching. But I have a tough topic this week. Been right in my chest, and I just wanted to bring it to light and see what are your opinions. The New American Story. Is this it? I am calling it, and I'm asking you, is this the New American Story? Ethan Cromwell, Oxford school shooting in Michigan. It's been a story for me. It's been very saddening. It brings me to ask the question, what the heck is going on in America? What's going on in this great nation? Not only is it disorientating, not only is it discomforting, but it can be potentially destructive. I step here in front of the mic this evening as a parent of two that I send to school each day, as a parent of two that's in the school system, as parent of two that not only support the school system in so many ways, but I'm also a part of the PTA. A parent of two that is always driving around on the school campus. It's a safe haven. It should be a safe haven, not only for our students, but for our teachers, which are our educators, for the workers that are there, the police officers that are there. We should be thinking of this as very saddening in this country. For us as people, every day we wake up each morning and we send our kids to school, and we're hoping that they'll be as fruitful as ever, that they'll learn so many things, that they'll come back home and teach us something. There's always something new to learn. But every time I hear about these schools shooting, it's very saddening. It's very saddening for me. It's very saddening for my family. I'm pretty sure it's very saddening for a lot of family around these United States. The world is not young, people, but we are. This is nothing new under the sun. But we must continue to teach peace and love for each other. We must stop these things from keep going on inside our school system. Get rid of the hate. Love each other. Get rid of the jealousy. Welcome uniformity in our life. Why is it so hard for us as people? Most of the time we have the same goals. But why is it so hard for us sometimes as people to understand, love, and care for each other? There's no need for us to be shooting around in the school system. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's crazy that when I think about what happened, I looked at the parents. They hired lawyers for themselves, and the young child did not get a lawyer that was hired by them. So the system is actually providing one of those lawyers from the court. When you think about this, you have to remember, and I always say this, don't forget that in the midst of sadness, there's happiness. In the midst of war, there's peace. In the midst of enslavement, there's freedom. But like I said, in the midst of war, there comes peace. That brings me back to the beginning, and I ask, is this the New American Story? Is this it? I don't think so. At least not for me. We can write this story better. We can make it better. We can remove what needs to be removed from it, or we can add to it. But we can write this story. This story about the great nation on the hill. The story about the beacon of hope, the places where we would like to visit. The story about the shining light the story about the innovation from that great nation, the story about laws, rule of laws that follow us inside of each one of our communities, the story about the protection, the story about each one of us walking around and feeling great to be American. That's not happening in Oxford, Michigan. That's not happening in the school system in Oxford. I saw kids running around. I saw educators running around because there are people with gun. There was a child with a gun in the school shooting at them. So many people have lost their lives to school shooting. We can go back to Sandy Hook. We can go down to Florida in Broward County. There are so many school shootings. I remember I felt like it was every month that it was a school shooting. Then after I felt like it was every year. Then I felt like for a minute I was wondering, wow, it just keeps happening and happening and happening. The guns are in the hands of the wrong people. Remember, guns can't kill people. People kill people. So we have to remember these things. We have to love each other. We have to respect each other. Please let us be better as human beings. Remember, guys, you have to keep in mind that every time we think that, be the voice of hope. Every time we sit down and we think and we talk to each other, be the voice of hope is what I would say. Then there will come peace. Be the voice of self-worth, and then there will come selflessness. Be the voice for safety, and there will come protection. Be the parents that raise your children, not a parent that's being raised by the children. I always look at this, and this is the reason why I have the conversations I do with my own children about respecting each other, respecting your peers, respecting the adults. Respect is important. And when you have a child that thought his life was over before it began, I personally believe that his parents failed him. I feel bad for him. But when you get older, you do bear some responsibility. And you have to start thinking. But if you were never taught, it's hard to say. So keep this in mind as I close this evening. If our communities are unsafe, remember, guys, we can't procreate. If our schools are unsafe, our kids cannot be educated. If our kids cannot be educated, then we can't innovate. And if we can't innovate, then we can't endure. On that notion, this nation was founded. Innovation was the key. Safety is the key. Selflessness is the key. Love each other. Love is the key. Respect each other. Respect is the key. We love living here. We like to be able to move around without someone, feeling unsafe inside of our community. But how do they feel in Michigan? How do they feel in Oxford? The same way they felt in Broward County in Florida. Same way they felt in Sandy Hook a few years ago. It's not something that we should forget about. It's something that we should move forward in making better so it doesn't happen again. Thank you guys this evening so much for watching. Thank you guys for spending the time here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I want to close by saying, remember that chaos has the power to bring kindness. Take care. Remember, take care and respect yourself. Love those who love you and those who do not. See you next week.